everyone. I'm Zayna Allen, and welcome back to Bold Life. We have a great show lined up for you today. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section below. We want to know what you think. Now, today we have a leader in the hospitality industry software space, providing a game-changing solution for food allergic guests to be able to dine out more safely. Please welcome CertiStar President and CEO, Shandee Chernow. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks so much for having me on, Zayna. I really appreciate it.
Of course. So Shandee, what exactly is CertiStar and how did it become something so great for you?
So CertiStar is a piece of software to help the hospitality industry. Basically what we do is we eliminate that kind of big, long, and stressful conversation around food allergies in restaurants. So right now, the average is somewhere between 8 and 12 minutes to have that conversation and figure out what someone who has a food allergy can safely eat at your restaurant. And we take that down to somewhere around a minute, which is great, right? So we're saving the restaurant time. We're saving the food allergy person that feeling of being stigmatized and kind of burdensome, if you will, even though they're not. And we're getting more accurate and more profitable orders for customers.
Yeah, so what exactly led you to create CertiStar? Did you have any food allergy problems yourself?
Yeah, so I'm allergic to peanuts, tree nuts, shellfish, all of which are very common, and then pork, which sucks, right? And they came on when I was 28, so adult onset allergies, which happens to 15% of food allergic people. And I've got a relatively uncommon combination. So going out to eat was a really big challenge for me. It continues to be a challenge for me at non-CertiStar venues. And so I really got tired of having those conversations and trying to keep myself safe and not, take over the entire conversation at the table or whatever. And so, that was the genesis of CertiStar.
So, I can relate, not 100%, but I don't eat pork. I'm allergic to tree nuts. And, you can imagine for me, when it comes to the fitness part of everything, I'm a really big gym rat, and there's so many things I can't have. I can't eat nuts. So there's protein in nuts. So every protein shake is almonds or something like that. And I can't, so I relate.
Well, and any fitness person, you ask, what's a good snack for me to have? It's almonds or, some other kind of nut or nut butter, nut milk, right?
Yeah.
And following any of those programs is really challenging when you have food allergies.
Hard.
What we do, we basically provide the restaurant's menu back to you, stoplight style. So green is go, right? Allergen friendly. Yellow is with modifications. So either cook it in a different piece of equipment or, remove a particular component, a sauce or a bun or whatever the case may be. And then red is, there's unsafe, nothing that we can do to fix that. I'm never going to be able to have, shrimp scampi or something like that, right?
Yeah, I completely understand. My parents actually have a shellfish allergy. And it's funny that you mentioned that it comes on later. I'm pretty close to 25. So I'm not, I know there's probably going to be some changes later on in life. Like my parents, they didn't have their shellfish allergy until they were later in their adulthood. And I'm nervous. But
it's a big misconception that food allergies are really just kind of a kid thing. It's not the case. It's 10.4% of the US population is food allergic with severe enough symptoms that the medical community agrees. So if you think about a restaurant or a hospitality establishment, 10% of the people in there are food allergic. And if you think about the number of parties there that affects, it's really a huge issue, and your table turn times end up being significantly slower when you're having those conversations. And those customers end up actually being on the lower end of profitability because you don't necessarily find them the most complex or expensive dishes on the menu, right?
Right. Now, when it comes to the software, how exactly does it truly make things easier on the operations staffs at the restaurant?
Yeah, so instead of going around, the way that it works right now, most of the time in a restaurant, when a customer says, I have a food allergy, we need to talk about it, some combination of the server, the manager, the chef, maybe another line cook in the kitchen gets involved. And there's a bit of a back and forth trying to figure out what it is that person can have. What we do is we make it a very fast, it takes about, somewhere between 5 and 30 seconds to run the search and present that individualized green, yellow, red menu. And then the guest can choose from all of the things on the menu that they can have. They get a complete set of options. And it's not coming from someone's brain in the middle of service. It's coming from a very fact-based, data-based place.
Right. And I'm sure that makes it a lot easier. So is it true that that CertiStar can actually help restaurants keep more money in their pockets as well?
100%. So oftentimes you'll hear that people don't necessarily announce to the restaurant that they have a food allergy. And when they do that, they oftentimes will order something that's very simple, a side of rice or a side salad or a baked potato or something like that. It ends up not being a particularly profitable option for for the restaurant, and it's keeping the average ticket price lower and the tip for the server lower in turn, right? So what we do is we allow someone to choose something from every category. So all of a sudden, a food allergy person can have an appetizer and an entree and a side and a cocktail. People don't think about drinks, and a dessert. Whereas at most establishments, they're not able to do that because you're spending so much time trying to figure out just one thing that you can have.
Yeah, I definitely think I would be much more comfortable at a restaurant that had a program like or CertiStar itself. I would make it so much more easier for people like you and I. It's so funny. I always have my friends or whomever I'm with do a test bite for me. Hey, there's this, like, if it's like a restaurant or if I'm even at an event that's serving food, hey, this looks really good. Can you test it? I don't really know like what meat it is. Can you just check it real quick? And I also don't, now that we're having this conversation, I'm starting to like see all the things that I deal with on a daily basis when it comes to having all these allergies. It's terrible. I'm glad that you were able to create something like this for people like us.
Yeah, it's a very stressful situation. And I think going back to the misconceptions that we were talking about before, people don't realize that it's literally every single time we put something, we consume food. Yeah. It's every day, it's every meal, it's every snack, and it's just a bit of a heavy burden. So anything that we can do to lighten that load and to ensure consistency on the service side.
Yes. So now, where can people learn more about CertiStar? How can they get signed up? It's like, because I need to see it at Fridays. I love that's my favorite restaurant. It's not my favorite restaurant, but it's my go-to restaurant. So I need to
tell the manager at Fridays all about it. Make sure that you let them know that you want them to use us. But they can find us online at CertiStar.com. Call us at 833-EAT-SAFE or any of the social media sites at CertiStar.
Awesome. I'm excited to see CertiStar blow up because I think people like myself and you, we don't get a lot of people advocating for us.
I think that's absolutely right.
Yeah, we just get, here's the menu. If you have any allergies, let us know and we'll see what we can do. But I don't think that's enough, No. So really, I'm very grateful.
Especially when you have an allergy outside of that list, right?
Yes. Well, thank you so much. I'm very grateful for CertiStar. Again, I hope it blows up because I need it. I need it. I know a lot of people.
Both. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time, Zayna. Thank you.
Thank you. I had the amazing opportunity to talk with actress, producer, author, Miss Vivica A. Fox. Please check out a clip. Hello, how are you doing?
I am blessed, darling. How are you today?
I'm blessed as well. That's the best way to do it. I like that. I'm blessed as well. I'm feeling highly favored. All of this corona mess. How's it going over there?
Wow, California, everyone, believe it or not, except we had some folks that had to get to the beach. But overall, mostly everyone in California has been staying safe and staying home. I know I have. The good thing for me is that I've been able to do a lot of like my podcast interviews from home. So I've been really busy. I had a film come out. I've been doing my podcast interviews. So I'm staying home, staying safe, and staying busy.
Yes, I love that. And, and it's hard, I think, on people who have so many businesses, and I know you yourself, you are a hustler, so I know this must be hard on you. How are you adapting to everything when it comes to business?
Well, I'll admit it. At first it was kind of like, I was like, oh, I get to sleep. I don't have to rush to the airport. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, I miss the airport. I miss going to my sets. But the beautiful thing for me is that I had a film come out, my podcast came out, and all of the other productions that I was about to get into, I was about to do 2 other films for Lifetime. We just pushed everything back, and we're just waiting for the governor to open things back up. So everyone's kind of like on hold together. So everyone's just having patience together.
I see. So let's talk about your new film that came out on Cinco de Mayo, Arkansas. You co-starred with Liam Hemsworth, Vince Vaughn, so many other amazing names. How was that production for you? What was that like?
Well, we filmed in Alabama. That I know, of all places, and I had never filmed in Alabama. So when I first got the location where we were going to shoot at, I was like, "Oh, we going down south." But believe it or not, the Gulf Coast was beautiful. The food was excellent. We shot all of my scenes on this little boathouse that was like sitting in like this little lake. So it was very intimate. So I got to spend a lot of time with Liam Hemsworth, Vince Vaughn, and the director, Clark Duke, who is making his directorial debut. And I just want to give you guys a little bit of history about Clark Duke. Clark Duke used to be a child star and was on the show 2.5 Men. And so now he's like, yes, I know. Everyone said the same thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, that's the kid from 2.5 Men. And I'm like, yep, y'all, that's the kid from 2.5 Men.
That's crazy. Wow. And it's funny. I used to watch 2.5 Men all the time. It didn't even click in my head.
Yes.
So how was his skill as becoming a director? What was that like working with him?
Well, as an actress, you appreciate having an actor director, because he understands that because we filmed in this little boathouse, he totally understood that there were times that there were things that were written that we couldn't do. So he wasn't, and he also co-wrote the script as well. So he wasn't that married to the words. He was fun. He was flexible. I enjoyed working with him. And for a first-time director, he knew exactly what he was going to do. He never went over, he never was cranky. Like, it was really an enjoyable experience to work with him because he knows what it's like to be on the other side of that camera.
Right. That seems like that would be great for you guys, especially, okay, right. I think it's great for you guys. You guys get to have somebody that's been on your side. So they're not crazy about, I need this done right. I need this done like this. I need this done like that. I love that. So I'm really excited. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm really excited to go ahead and check that out.
Yes.
And I think, Vivica, with you, it's very interesting that you have continued to keep yourself relevant, which I think is it's commendable, because I think a lot of people, especially with you being in the industry for as many years as you have been,
decades. I got receipts for these children, okay?
You've been in the industry for so long. I commend you for staying so relative and keeping yourself involved. Let's talk about the longevity of your career. How are you able to keep that up?
Well, for me, I'm very blessed that I have a wonderful team. And when I say having a wonderful team, I have an excellent publicist, my publicist, BJ Coleman, who helped me to become an author. My book, Every Day I'm Hustling, he was the one who got me my book deal. He was like, Vivica, I think you're at a point in your life where you need to start sharing the secrets of your success. You're having an amazing resurgence in your career right now. Because at first when he said, it's time to do a book, I was like, no, I don't want another job. I'm good. But he was like, no, share your secrets of your success, that you realize what it's like to be a woman in your 50s, to go into new chapters, and that you're doing it so well. I said, okay, all right, BJ. So we got me a book, and then my agent, Sheila Leger, she's always finding new chapters. I share this secret in my book. The secret of my success is having a good team. Build yourself a dream squad. Build yourself a team of people who see opportunities for you that maybe you wouldn't even have ever thought of for yourself. That they take you into new chapters, that they're honest with you. So I would say the reason why I've had longevity is my team, and also versatility. I always make sure that I tell young actors, be a triple threat, be able to sing, act, dance, because you never know what that day the role may call for. Because now you got actors that are becoming singers that are becoming actors. Like, everyone's doing a little bit of everything. Everyone's loving to dance. I mean, it used to be that you only did one thing. You stayed in one lane. Well, it's not like that anymore. So I always stress to people that versatility equals longevity. Be able to host, be able to sing, be able to dance, and also have a good attitude.
I love that. Make sure to watch the full interview on Bold TV's YouTube. Up next is our health and wellness segment, brought to you by True Serenity Tea. an award-winning affordable monthly subscription box that contains loose leaf teas from around the world with tea blends and accessories that are shipped directly to your door every month. Visit www.trueserenitytea.com and use the code wellness at checkout when you buy one of this month's specialty teas, My Darjeeling, Thai Thai, Fiji Islands, and Elderberry Tulsi. Joining me today to discuss the importance of diversity in healthcare is physician, author, and diversity advocate, Dr. Ashley Denmark. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you for having me today.
Of course. So, Dr. Denmark, let's just talk about briefly what you do.
Well, I am a family medicine physician. That means I take care of everybody in the population from your grandma and grandfather down to babies. So I take care of everyone. And in my spare time, I focus on trying to bring awareness of the need to bring more Black and Brown people into the medical fields, more particularly the physician workforce. And so I focus on running my project, Diversified Medicine Instagram. It was that 30,000 plus village of aspiring doctors, and I mentor them every day.
So let's talk about how exactly the whole COVID-19 pandemic has really shown why we need more Black and Brown doctors.
Well, I feel that with what we're seeing right now playing out in front of the media has shown that there has truly been health disparities amongst Black and Brown communities. We're seeing that they're located near food deserts where they don't have access to food. They're seeing that they don't have the same access to clinic and healthcare that other affluent communities may see. And so what we're seeing is because they don't have the ability to kind of maintain a healthy lifestyle, or they're having to work low-wage jobs and they may not have insurance. And again, they don't have the same access to healthcare. We're seeing that they are more affected by COVID-19 and furthermore at risk for more complications, because if you can't maintain a healthy lifestyle, you're more likely to have chronic conditions such as hypertension or diabetes or kidney disease. And we know these are big drivers for COVID-19 complications, including death. And so it brings the fact that we need to have more Brown and Black doctors at the table, because research has said that if we have them at the table, they will go in these communities and set up shop and start running clinics and working in the hospitals. But when we don't have them at the table, that's what we see. We see that they don't have access to testing centers. In St. Louis, the first testing center was placed 1 hour away from the urban community that I grew up in. How can anyone get access to a testing center if it's 1 hour away and they're already they have low-wage jobs? They don't have access to transportation like everyone else. So again, if we had people at the table, I don't think that would have happened. So that's why we need to have more of us there to vocalize what our community needs, so that this won't happen again to us.
Yes. So, I've realized that, you mentioned that the Black health isn't really the best. We already have all these different things against us. So do you think that this has shown that we need to be more on our health and, making sure that we got it together?
Yes, of course. I mean, I think we have had, in our community, we kind of been conditioned not to prioritize our health. And a lot of us, again, because we have been placed in these situations where we have to kind of pick and choose what's important to us. And unfortunately, for a lot of diseases like hypertension and diabetes, you have zero symptoms before you kind of hit that bad part where it becomes uncontrolled. And so a lot of us often don't prioritize that because it's not causing us problems. And so by the time we realize it, it's too late. And so I'm encouraging every single one of our Black and Brown brothers and sisters, please go find a doctor. Please link up with one. It's so important to kind of connect back with your health. Again, there are free clinics offering services. I know myself, I'm in the office and even doing Zoom services at the hour, so we can make sure we guys have access. So it's so important that we start focusing on our health because that's the one way we can kind of combat COVID-19 complications.
You mentioned that, as Black people overall, we usually say, you still got to keep going. I think that kind of works into this certain, this mindset, this poverty effect. So can we talk about how there's healthcare disparities by zip code?
Yeah. So, I mean, when you look at the clinics and how they're mapped, if you were to compare, I use my own, I grew up near Ferguson, Missouri, and Jennings. And the thing is that you look at the access to healthcare. Where are these points where people can actually go see a doctor compared to what they have in affluent communities? You see there's like literally an urgent care access center or a clinic or a hospital on almost every corner. When you come down to our communities, you don't have the same access. And then again, I talk about the quality of healthcare. Again, how are we going to deal with the fact that, people have bad experiences, those experiences where maybe they didn't get the treatment they wanted, or maybe they had a loved one who had an unfortunate incident that kind of happened. And now they're saying, well, I'm traumatized from my experience in the healthcare system. I'm not going to go to that hospital anymore. I hear this every single day. So again, there's disparities in these communities where they're not given the resources to have the simple things they need to be able to thrive as Americans. But we're over-resourcing other communities and saying, let's make sure you have the clinics, make sure you have the testing, make sure you have the hospitals, and we keep funding all the stuff over there, and they say, oh, we'll get down to the other communities when we can. That's kind of how the attitude has been, and it's not acceptable. So we need to start changing our attitudes and saying, well, we'll go to the place here first and then kind of get to you last. So that's kind of what's been happening even down here in St. Louis. But we need to focus on that and make sure we're prioritizing our communities or our vulnerable communities.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dr. Denmark, you've made a lot of great points today. I hope that there's going to be a change in the way that Black healthcare is viewed soon, because I know there's a lot of women out there specifically who I noticed that there's been issues with Black women and pregnancies, especially with this whole COVID-19 situation. It's a lot going on, So thank you for joining us today, Dr. Denmark. You made amazing points. I only hope that you're the one that brings us out of this,
I'm working on it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You may recognize our next guest from the 90s Disney show Smart Guy. Please welcome John Marshall Jones. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Zayna. How you doing today?
I'm amazing. I'm feeling blessed and highly favored,
There you go. There you go.
So, John, can you, honestly, you've been in over 10 television series, 20 feature films, and you have made over 100 television episodic appearances. Now, which exactly was, I wouldn't say your favorite, which you can name a couple that really stood out in your mind?
Well, the one that stands out the most is Smart Guy, because there was a lot of other stuff that went along with that. I mean, I'm really happy that the show was popular. But when I came to Hollywood, the predominant image of African-American males in the media was negative, and so the stuff they were producing was, you get to play a pimp or a pusher or a drug dealer or thug number 3 or whatever it was they were offering at the time. And I came to understand that movies and television at the time were the 3rd largest export in the American economy. And so those images were being exported around the world, and people around the world were seeing them and being affected by them, and not just white people or European people being affected by the idea of how Black people are here, but also there are people in the African diaspora all over the world, not just Africa, but there's a huge number of African descendants, Afro-Europeans, just like there are African Americans, and all through the Caribbean and all through South America. And so those images, and they're taking our lead as African Americans to lead what the image is of people in the African diaspora across the world. And so I wanted to do something that was positive, and it took maybe 10 years of turning stuff down until Smart Guy came along. And then Smart Guy was everything that I wanted to export around the world. It was WB's #1 show, and managed to get canceled and then picked up by Disney and became Disney's #1 show worldwide. And it still plays in many, but played in up to 175 countries. And recently I went to the Cannes Film Festival, and it had played in France, in Paris, like 5 days a week at 5 p.m. for years. I mean, it literally played all over the world. And when I got to the Cannes Film Festival, the young brothers there treated me like I was Denzel Washington. They literally couldn't believe I was there, and it was free everything, and can I get an autograph, and let me take a picture with you. And it was at that point that I realized the worldwide impact of this show on a generation that's now in their 30s. They're now grown people, but all over the world, young men and young women saw my character, Floyd Henderson, as the father that they didn't have at home. And they took those lessons from that show and applied it to their lives. And honestly, I can't think of a greater honor than to have gone into what is truly a marketplace of ideas, and to have this idea of African American genius not only be exported all over the world, but be accepted by millions of young African Americans and then expressed in their lives right now. So I think it's one of the most impactful shows of the last 20 years as far as our people are concerned. And I'm really, really happy to have been a part of it.
Yes, I'm sure you could tell. I'm pretty young. I'm not pretty young, but I grew up on Smart Guy,
There you go.
I absolutely loved your character. I loved the entire show. I think in the 90s, there was this movement where they wanted to, or a lot of shows, at least, not all, but a lot of shows wanted to create a different view of Black people. And I think Smart Guy was definitely, as you said, one of those shows that definitely made people see a different side of the Black family. So I commend you and the rest of the team of Smart Guy for that. So John, you are in a new drama series called Paradise Lost. Let's talk about that.
Paradise Lost is a Southern Gothic drama. It is set in a small kind of mysterious town in rural Mississippi. And when you get down there in the deep rural South, all kinds of stuff can be going on that nobody will know about unless you actually live in that town. They're not going to talk to you, but they talk all day to each other. So everybody in the town kind of knows what's happening. But at the same time, they're not going to admit it to anybody else, especially when it's dirty, which is what's going on in this town. There's a bunch of dirt going on that everybody kind of knows about, but nobody's really trying to do anything about. And it's affecting the way that the people interact with each other, to the point where there's this cross-section of religion and the supernatural that happens in this town that people, again, they know it's going on, but they don't really want to talk about it.
I gotta watch it. It premiered on the 13th of April, correct?
Correct.
I'm excited to get into it. I've been binge watching a bunch of shows, so it's on my list.
Oh yeah, well this is one that you can comfortably binge watch. It's 10 episodes, so if you binge like I binge, you can get through that in a weekend.
I could get through that in a day. Challenging me. I can get through that in a day.
Yeah.
So listen, John, as we see in your background, you are a brother of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. And, I went to an HBCU. I didn't pledge anything, but I know a little bit about the National Panhellenic Council. So I admire the work of the brothers there for Kappa. And you are a spokesperson for the Kappa League. Now, can we talk about that briefly?
Yeah, I'm the national spokesperson for Kappa League, and we are the oldest and most successful African-American male mentorship program in U.S. history. We were founded in 1922, the Guide-Right program, which Kappa League is under. And in 2022, we will obviously be having our 100-year anniversary. And so to celebrate that, we are expanding Kappa League through partnerships with the Black College Expo and also with the Common Black College app. And our commitment is to get 140,000 young men into college by 2032, which is over a 10-year period, and to help to revitalize the HBCU system.
And I absolutely love that. As I said, I went to an HBCU, so I love the promotion and the growth that people put towards an HBCU. So thank you, John, so much for joining us. I'm really excited to check out Paradise Lost. And honestly, I think that you have been an amazing person when it comes to, you know, advocating for the Black family and the Black man. As you can see, as you said several times in this interview, that you believe that, you know, Black people need to be shown in a different light. And I think you've accomplished that in many ways. So congrats to you. I'm really excited to check out Paradise Lost. And yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. And I just want to say, what you see behind me is our motto, which is motivated mentorship. And again, you know, we have 140,000 initiates of Kappa Alpha Psi. And that's why we're putting 140,000 young men into college, which is one for every initiate over the course of 10 years. And we have our own channel. It's called Kappa League TV, which you can come to at kappaleague.tv. And you can see not only the featured videos, which kind of tell the story of Kappa League and Kappa Alpha Psi, but also we have the young men creating news reports of what they're doing in their chapter and sitting down at the news desk and being an anchor and introducing the story, and other young men out with microphones interviewing people, because it is important for young Black men to feel empowered to tell their own story and to have power over the narrative of who they are.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm really focused on right now.
Yes, I love all of that. Well, thank you so much, John. We're definitely going to put a link down, and we're going to make sure that people go ahead and check out Kappa League. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you, Zayna.
Our next guest is here to help us with some in-home hair care and beauty tips. Please welcome CEO and co-founder of Miss Jessie's Natural Hair Products, Miko Branch. Hi, Miko. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, Zayna. So nice to talk with you today.
Of course, you know, Miko, I know you came and visited us at Bulls a couple months ago. You gave us some great tips. So I'm excited to hear what you got for us today. I've been, you know, securing my wigs down, but I'm ready for my natural hair to flourish. So let us know what tips do you have for those of us at home who are, you know, just living day to day and not, you know, not looking their best.
Well, I think because of this whole pandemic, many of us are forced to be up close and personal with ourselves on so many levels. But, you know, our hair is very near and dear to us. So many of us are starting with the basics, like just handling our hair by cleansing it, washing it, conditioning it, and getting reacquainted with it. Many of us don't have those appointments with our hair, with our beauticians or our, you know, our hair salons. So we're doing it ourselves. I think the good news, particularly for the natural hair movement, is that many of us have learned to handle our hair. So it's really a matter of, you know, starting the process by cleansing it, conditioning it, and then, you know, try to be creative with styling. Many people are doing double strand twists, coil outs, braids, and they're using these kinds of styles, you know, to wear it, be able to wear it like maybe 2 or 3 days, and maybe the 4th day they'll let it out.
Yes, yes. I've had a couple of friends who've been doing finger coils, which is very interesting. I haven't quite mastered that yet, but one day I will get there. So Miko, can you tell us a couple of products that you recommend for, you know, making sure that our hair stays conditioned and moisturized throughout these times?
Oh my God, so Miss Jessie's has 2 that really come to mind is our Super Sleep Back treatment. It's excellent not only for moisturizing and deep conditioning, but it's also great for growing out your hair. This is a wonderful time for many of us to get that length that we're looking for. We're able to condition it more, wash it more, and with Super Sleep Back treatment, if you apply it and use heat, meaning like a heat cap or some kind of steam, you're able to really maximize the length. So that's one that I like a lot. And then also there's rapid recovery. For any of us who have any kind of damage, who want to repair their hair, rapid recovery is another wonderful deep Miss Jessie's treatment. But the good news is that we have new products, Zayna. We have our Soften Me Up, which is a wonderful daily moisturizer. If you're washing or co-washing and you want to add some extra moisture, put that Soften Me Up in and you'll be great.
Yes, I love, you know, I think I have the Sweet Back treatment. Last time we saw each other, I had very, very, very short hair. I think I had a wig then too. I had very, very, very short hair. So it's still here. I still have it because I only had to use a little bit on my hair at a time, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I still haven't stopped using it. I use it at least like once every 2 weeks on my hair, and I leave it in. I know that there's like this running joke that they say condition for like 2 hours and women just leave it in for like 3 days. So that's how I am with my conditioner, and I absolutely love it. Now, when it comes to, making sure that our hair is protected, what do you recommend from Miss Jessie's when it comes to, making sure we have our protective styles down packed and they're, as healthy as they can be?
I'm thinking of the baby butter creams, the curly butter creams. They're wonderful because not only are they rich and decadent as a moisturizer, but they also double as your styling product. So the women or men who want to do their double strand twists or their coil outs or their braid outs, you actually use your baby butter cream or your curly butter cream as that cream to help you to get to your style, but you get all of that, maximum moisture. So I love those two products for that reason.
I actually have the Pillow Soft curls, and it's very funny that years ago when I had very long curly hair, and then one day I decided to cut it. So that's that's another story for another day. But when I had really long curly hair, I loved your Pillow Soft curls. I think it just made my hair seem so fluffy and bouncy. Do you still have products that can work with Pillow Soft curls? I know a lot of people that I know love it too. So what products do you think work best with the Pillow Soft curls?
Well, Pillow Soft Curls, as you said, is a wonderful product all in itself, but that leave-in conditioner as a base before you put the Pillow Soft curls in, it is magical. It's the right style prep. It gets your hair detangled, it gets it smoothed out, and it receives the Pillow Soft curl in such a wonderful way where it makes it extra moisturized, but pillow soft. But then, there's a styling product. There's like our Gloss So Good after you get that Pillow Soft, that fluffy look. Sometimes you want to add a little bit more shine to it, so that Gloss So Good is wonderful. And then there's like our finishing products like the Hold Me Down. The Hold Me Down will get your edges laid down just right. And I find that people like you who like Pillow Soft curls, they don't necessarily like every single curl in place. So they kind of like the fluffy, messy, kind of undone, just somewhat of a distressed look. But you can't go wrong when you lay your edges down. So Miss Jessie's Hold Me Down is the winner.
Yes. So what do you have in your hair today?
Oh my God. So speaking of Pillow Soft curls, that's exactly what I'm doing today because I'm in South Florida. There's a lot of humidity here. I can't get control of it. So Pillow Soft curls allows me to get like that Pillow Soft fluffy look, but when it's kind of like day 4, like what we're talking about here, because I'm not washing as often as I should have this week, here it is. So it's fluffy, it's Pillow Soft, and it's day 4.
It looks great. It looks great. I'm a little envious. I'm gonna get there one day. I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna get there one day. So how can we purchase Miss Jessie's while we are at home in quarantine?
Well, it's a double benefit for Miss Jessie's. We are privately owned. We would love if you would purchase from MissJessies.com. It helps to keep companies like Miss Jessie's in business. And now since this pandemic is going on, many people are not able to go out to their stores and get all the products that they need. So they are ordering. So, when you get it from Miss Jessie's, you definitely get it with that extra love. So you can get it from us. And then also, if you like your retailer, Target sells Miss Jessie's online, Walmart, CVS, and Walgreens too. So you might be, a committed shopper to those retailers. So feel free.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Miko, for joining us. I am really excited to get back on my natural hair journey. Like I said, I am on it. You just can't see it because I have, I'm in protective styles all the time. But
many of us are. Many of us don't have time to let our hair. We are washing, conditioning, moisturizing, but protective styles styling is the way to go because it kind of takes your mind off of it and it allows you to do all the things that you need to do now that you're home. So
yes, I have like a whole bunch of look. I'm not even gonna embarrass myself on TV, but I have like a whole bunch of like cornrows going back so I can put this hair up. I oil it every day, you know. I'll make sure I'm good. But your products have definitely helped me out. Your sweet back treatment, I love conditioning my hair with it. Again, like I said, I leave it in for like 3 days at a time. I put my shower cap on, and then I put like a bonnet on for 3 days. Just keep it, nice and moisturized. Yes, but thank you so much, Miko, for joining us. And I hope a bunch of people at home definitely get to go ahead and try out Miss Jessie's because it's one of the best.
Oh man, it's made with love too. So glad to talk with you, Zayna.
Yes. And that's it for today's show. Thank you again for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Get our Amazon Fire TV app. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Wash your hands, stay inside, and stay tuned for more Bold Life in 2 weeks. See you guys.